back after a slight hiatus, I guess. It's been a while, it feels like.
Yeah. Well, I had the plague and then
Plague and, my second job as a Dickensian street urchin is really taking off.
yeah. I like that scarf.
Thank you.
Or is it a pashmina?
It's a pashmina.
Mm,
Um,
yes.
yeah, it's very fancy pants. I got it at the Goodwill
I like it.
for
It's a
$5.
good color for you.
I feel like it's a good color for me.
It is. It's very I don't know. You don't look as pale, like it's vibrant and it
It's reflecting.
is that what it is?
It is. It's reflecting. So there's that. But yeah, I've got my Dickensian street urchin attire going on here because
Mhm.
our heater broke. Well, our boiler, the return pipe has a hole in it now. And we discovered this because my son went down to the basement to go play. And there was a big, giant, crazy sopping wet puddle in the carpet. Yeah. So that happened.
How bad?
It wasn't. I mean, like the basement occasionally gets water anyway. Like when it rains really, really, really bad, it gets water. But it's usually on the other side. It's not usually in the bar area, which is where my son's playroom has evolved. And so that was
Usually in the creepy ghost serial killer cellar.
yeah. Usually it's in the other side, the haunted side,
Mhm.
in the serial killer cellar. But yeah, so this time it was on the carpet and sadness because it was just so yeah, like it took Hubs about an hour or so with the shop vac and fans blowing to get it to a semblance of where it might dry out. And then he was trying to figure out ways to fix it,
Mhm.
but it's going to need the pipe cut and then replaced, like in that section.
Mhm.
It's like right about at the joint there.
Right.
So he had a bucket under it for a while, and then the bucket was filling up too fast, and then he actually had to leave the heat running. Like, so now the house is set at like a decent temperature ish, but it still drops kind of low.
So
So
wait, having the heat running provides constant pressure to the pipe? Who would have thunk?
that's yeah,
That's amazing.
it's
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you embroider sorry, total shift. Did you embroider your hand warmers yourself?
No, I wish I could claim these as my own. These are Dom Clary's.
So pretty.
So yeah, Dom Clary does amazing work.
Wow.
I have a bunch of her stuff. She's so amazing. I don't even know if she's still selling stuff anymore. I have like a hat from her and a bunch of hand warmers because
Mhm.
Dickensian street urchin.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, so that happened. Other stuff that's happened in my life that's just completely
Yes, tell about the
unexpected.
Pearl of Destiny.
Yes, the Pearl of Destiny. So I found this pearl in my oyster stuffing at Turkey Day.
And how did you go about finding it?
I bit into it. As
To me,
one
that's the
does.
best part of the story.
Yeah. No, I did not break a tooth on it. I did, however, think that I did break a tooth and that it was my actual tooth rolling around in my mouth. But yeah, no, it was a pearl. So
Mm-hmm.
that was fun. It was a lot of fun. And so I ended up making a post to a Facebook group about it where it's basically like, oh, hey, we found some weird shit. Let's post about it. And,
Right.
my 15 minutes of internet fame is come and gone in a Pearl post. No fame and fortune through my awesome writing or, recognition with my writing. No, I found a pearl in my oyster stuffing, and that is apparently worthy of hundreds of thousands of page views and over 2,000 comments and likes.
You're kidding me.
No!
Wow.
But it was kind of cool because in that group, a few people came forward and they were like, hey, wait a minute. You're that writer chick. And I was like, I am, yes. And they're like, I love The Watershed. That was the most amazing, perfect story ever. Or I loved For Sale or Rent. And I was like, I got this whole repertoire.
Whole world.
There's all these other books that you could get. And so all
Entire
these people
universe.
started coming, like these other people started coming through and they're like, oh, wait, you're a writer? You write scary stories? I want scary stories. Christmas is coming. And I'm like, absolutely. Go.
Excellent.
Buy, review. So yeah, it was kind of cool to meet some of the readers in the wild.
That's great.
In the wild.
In their natural habitat.
Their natural habitat on a Facebook group about weird shit found in houses.
That's so funny.
I know. I was just like, you gotta be kidding. I invited you to that group because you need to be part of that group. Just for the absolute insanity of the things that people find and the inevitable commentary of the poop knife. Yeah.
Poop knife.
This is how I spend my evenings. Just scrolling through thousands of comments and poop knives. But
you're not supposed to read the comments. What are you doing?
In this group, I do read the comments because there's very little. I mean, like the comments are intentionally stupid. Like a poop knife. Where it's like, can you?
Well, I mean, poop knives are not intentionally stupid in and of themselves.
They're utilitarian, I suppose. But yeah, so usually like the comments are, and I made a joke about it because the running gag is, can you put a banana next to it for clarity, for size comparison? And is it a poop knife? Those are like the two most common questions in the group. And so when I found my pearl and I posted a picture of it, one person actually wrote, I need more pictures for clarity. And I was like, I'm sorry, I ate all my bananas this morning. And they started laughing. They got the joke. And I was like, cool. It was a joke. Because honestly, like, how much clearer there's a pearl in my hand. It's in focus. It's not a Loch Ness Monster pearl. It's right there.
So you want to tell people why we're calling it the Pearl of Destiny?
Because that's how I got my fame and fortune. It's been so long that I can't remember why we started calling it the Pearl of Destiny. Thanksgiving was like 100 years ago.
Or a week, whatever.
It's 2020 time, so it's 20 years. But yeah, like I found it and I was just like, this is clearly my sign from the universe that somehow, some way I will be famous at some point. And then all of a sudden
you were.
I was.
Momentarily.
Not in any way that I expected.
Is it ever though?
Not, but it was disappointing that I was just like, oh come on, really? Like this is how I'm going out amidst the poop knives and bananas. Come on.
I mean, would you really want it any other way?
It's a fitting end to 2020.
It is. It's a very 2020 kind of end.
2020.
Yeah.
Like this year's gonna go down in history. It's like that's so 2020.
Yeah. The year I became an international rock smuggler.
Yeah, you became an international rock smuggler. I became obsessed with finding pearls and oysters now because I ordered after seeing all the comments where people were like, I once found a pearl in my smoked oysters, and I was like, really? And so I made
didn't.
They did. Apparently it's more common than you think. They're not, so everybody's like, oh, you should polish it up, blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's not really like a pearl.
Polishable grade. Yeah, it's just a pearl.
It's a crappy pearl. It looks like a piece of dirt that got into an oyster and it put something around it to make it not be a pain.
Mhm.
And so I'm kind of looking at 2020 as like a food grade pearl, where it's like, okay, I'm just wrapping it up in something to make it less painful.
Great. So
I
wait. Okay, stop. Back up. How do you like so pearls and food grade oysters, yes?
yes.
Is it because the pearl hunters or whatever find it in there, don't think it's like jewelry grade and just leave it? Like, explain to
Oh,
me
so yeah,
how.
I fell down another internet rabbit hole with this one
Yeah.
because I saw one of the comments. I mean, it was a very educational discussion, going on in there, for like 5,000 comments, where
Mhm.
one person, in fact, posted oysters. Basically, they were like, "No, it's impossible that you found a pearl because oysters that we eat aren't the ones that make pearls." And I was like, "Well, bullshit," because I found a pearl.
Yeah.
There it is. I got the proof. But they were partially right. So the ones that make the jewelry grade pearls are different than the ones we eat.
Okay.
So I don't
So
know how people find like jewelry grade pearls in their seafood other than maybe they're eating the wrong oysters. Like somebody just was like, "Hey, we're about a dozen short. Let's grab the jewelry oysters."
how do you tell the difference between the jewelry oysters and the food oysters?
They are a different type of oyster. I guess the jewelry ones get bigger and are more likely to put the shiny around it, whereas the food grade ones are just like, what is, man? It's like the Jersey Shore versus, I don't know, like the Florida Keys. Like they're both beaches, but
But yeah.
yeah, like one's gonna get you full of nuclear waste, the other one's gonna get you full of some gross salt water. Either way, it's a lose-lose, but you're getting a pearl in the end.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of the ocean. I mean, I am a fan of the ocean. I am not a fan of feeling the ocean. Yeah, I like the beach.
Who even are you?
I know. I
The
like the
ocean's
beach
the
a lot.
best part of the beach.
No, I don't like going in the ocean. Like I'll walk through it and stuff, and if it's like really hot, I'll go in the waves. But honestly, I prefer a beach in the off season, like a lot.
Well, yeah, the beach is definitely better in the off
I
season,
feel
but
like there's less pee.
you know that like whales piss in there, right? Like
I am
there's
sure there's
gonna be
nothing
pee.
but fish piss in there. So yeah, if I wanted to swim in a fish tank, I'd swim in a fish tank. Otherwise, I'm just not going in there. It's filled with all kinds of animal waste. The most toxic of all being humans. And this is why I only have Candy as a friend.
Sometimes I wonder.
Love me for my pearl of destiny.
I do,
That's it. You just
merely for that, hitching my wagon to your internet fame.
so we can talk about your rock smuggling adventures, since we're on the subject of stones of some sort.
Oh well, okay. So I'm not really smuggling rocks, but
There is nothing illegal going on,
there's nothing illegal going on my end. I mean,
as far as
what
you know.
happens in Pakistan and Afghanistan, the stands, I don't know. But no, there's nothing illegal going on. What happened is that a really nice gentleman um, sent me a private message on Instagram. And, I was like, okay, well, I'll fuck with this guy. Like, all right. Like, I figured it was just yet another, like, I'm a colonel in the army kind of guy, but he was actually a gem dealer. And he had
We
seen
need
my
to back it up a little
Instagram.
bit
Oh, okay.
because it started with this.
Yes. Yes, it did. So I was admiring that and I was in love with it. And I was like, wow, I wish I could get some of that.
And I said you
And
should.
and
And then
it's
all of a sudden,
Caribbean calcite. And you said that I should.
yep.
And then what, 2 days later, this guy got in touch with me? Yeah. And he had gorgeous Caribbean blue calcite. I was skeptical because, like, who just randomly DMs someone on Instagram to make a sale that's reputable? So I made a small order, and well, this is one of the pieces that came.
Yeah, I'm
I
having a hard
got,
time getting mine to show up right too.
yeah.
It's to give the viewers at home an
I'll
idea.
take a
Oh,
photo.
there you
There
go.
we go.
It's coming in.
Yeah. And it's also, these bluer parts are translucent, so light will shine through them. So it's blue calcite with some white, and then this is actually aragonite. And this isn't like a defect. This is actually really cool.
Feature.
Inside there's there's drusies and stuff. It's really gorgeous. But yeah, so that was the first order, and I was like, wow, this is, all right. I got some really nice spheres and stuff. They're not up here in my room with me, so I can't show you at the moment, but I'll take pictures and put them on my page, on my Facebook page, because I'm working on getting away from Etsy. There's lots of stuff going on right now. I'm working on having my own website so that I don't have to be hosted by Etsy anymore. So that'll be coming in the new year. And so I'm not posting new things on Etsy. I'm only posting them on my Facebook page for sale.
So go to Morgana's Magics.
Morgana's Magics, yes. And anyway, so I was like, that's great. And so I got another message, and here's where it kind of gets sad, but it doesn't. I made another big order with him, and so I have some chocolate calcite, some strawberry calcite, some lapis, some more of the Caribbean calcite, and possibly some pistachio calcite on the way.
Just shut up and take my money. All of it.
All of it.
All of my book royalties for the foreseeable 5 years will be going to Candy. All 20
But
of them.
another gentleman contacted me, and he had also some really gorgeous items. Now, this stone is found in Pakistan. It's from one mine. That's it. And when it's gone, it's gone. They don't know that they're ever going to find any more. So I'm kind of stocking up on it. And I'm getting really good prices, really excellent prices on it. So this other man contacts me, and I'm kind of sad about this, but not, because I was going to place an order with him, right, for some really gorgeous pistachio calcite and a couple of other things. Well, I get a message from him the next day, and he was like, I didn't realize that you were doing business with my friend. He's my best friend. And so I'd really think it's best if I cancel the order because I don't feel like it's right. And I was like, wow, you know what? I really appreciate your integrity. I was like really impressed by that, right? Because I had told him at the beginning, look, I have someone I'm working with. I don't want to move from this man because he's done right by me. I'm not going to leave him. And I told him that straight up. And he was like, well, let me give you a sample and maybe you can order from me in addition. And I was like, you know what? That works.
That's fair.
But he wants me to give all of my business to his friend, which I think is absolutely outstanding and makes me think more highly of both of them.
Yeah, I think they both should just collaborate. And
I think that they might on my next order. I told them what I would like to order in January because I'm going to place an order probably once a month. Told him what I want in January. He might have to get it from his friend for me. So I think it'll work out for both of them.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I was really impressed because
that's awesome.
Yeah. How often does that, like, I've never met these guys. They're overseas. We're establishing like a business relationship. He knows I want to do business with him. And he's really working to make sure that he does the right things. And after hearing the horror stories, like you told me about people saying that they have stuff and selling it and then never sending it and it doesn't happen. And, that's scary because I'm investing in my business now, and it's a lot of money to me, you know?
Yeah, and Etsy, I mean, I've had bad experiences on Etsy. Like there
Mm,
was a shop that I bought soap molds from,
mhm,
and it was a really good looking soap mold in theory.
mhm, mhm.
And what they were doing was basically just using, they were like recycling old tracking numbers. So it would show up as, oh yeah, we're waiting for the package, but it was the same tracking number for all these people. And as it was, they were like, oh hey, we hand make these soap molds. So it was like a wooden case with silicone lining, and it was a really great idea. And I was like, perfect.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I need.
But
And then,
handmade, of course, is more expensive because
well, it's
there's
more
time and
expensive
effort
and
and
it
yeah.
takes time. So each one is
Mhm,
made to order. So it was going to be 90 days from the order
mhm.
date, which, as you know, in PayPal, 90 days is the cutoff
Yep, is the
for making
cutoff.
a complaint.
Mhm.
So I started noticing all these negative reviews coming in. And I was like, what's going on there? And then, I was like, hey, is everything cool? Because I'm seeing these negative reviews and I'm a little worried. And they wrote back and they were like, oh, hey, we're about ready to ship your stuff. Here's your tracking number. And they sent me the tracking number. And I plug it in and it says, awaiting item. I'm like, okay, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting, wait a week, check it again, still waiting for the item to arrive at USPS. I'm like, okay, and now it's 90 days. And I'm like, so I contact Etsy
Mhm.
and I contact PayPal, and I'm like, they never delivered.
Mhm.
And they were like, well, there's nothing we can do, it's past the 90 days. And I was like, I get that, but now I'm mad. And now I'm gonna be petty. I was like, and
That's not
hate,
good. Susie
yeah,
has the anger.
I do, and I hate doing that to fellow sellers on Etsy, because I was at the time selling stuff on Etsy.
Mhm.
And every once in a while you get a scam artist that would try to be like, oh hey, can you just send me this stuff and then I'll pay you, I promise, wink wink. And I'm like, no. Or they try to haggle, like, oh hey, that thing that you're selling for just a little bit above what you bought the supplies for, can you give it to me for less than you paid for the supplies? It's like, no.
Yeah.
And then can you give me free shipping too? And it's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
literally making this stuff, and I'm not charging
Well,
my time.
and then they're, well, I could get the stuff at Michael's and make it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
then
like,
go
okay, go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, have fun. Have a blast.
Enjoy.
Why are you here? Um,
Yeah. That's the one thing that I find the most insulting
yeah,
because okay, like I get it and I don't want to be petty, but go ahead. Like if you're
yeah.
going to say
Have
that
fun.
to me, like
It's like, I'm not gonna
can
give
you
you this.
though?
Yeah.
Can you really?
It's like, would you be here
Cuz
if you could?
yeah.
But yeah, like I would get people trying to haggle the jewelry that I was making, or the art that I was making, or the even
Mhm.
yarn that I was spinning, which, I mean, my yarn is perfectly weighted. It does not
Mhm.
twist on itself. It's perfect. And people were like, but it's $35. And I'm like, because it is luxury fiber. It's like
Mhm.
cashmere, merino, and silk, and it's hand spun by
And if
me
I
to
yeah, and if
order.
I charged you minimum wage for my time, you couldn't afford
Yeah, it's like
it.
if I charged what I actually, spent time doing for this thing, it would be like
Mhm.
$90, but I'm charging
Mhm.
just a little bit more than I paid for the yarn, for the fiber, because I enjoy doing it and it's something to pass the time for me.
Mhm.
And and I was pricing it based on what I was seeing out there. And I know that people are spinning much faster and cheaper fibers, so I'm like, okay, fair enough. I make like a $5 profit, and then shipping is included. So
Yeah.
I'm like, fine. But yeah, so this guy, all of a sudden, his wife's emailing me. Like, how dare you report me? And my husband's got cancer. I'm like, then why are you
I
still here?
I
Like,
had someone do that to me,
yeah. I
and
was
then they just disappeared, and it
Yeah.
was something that I ordered as a Christmas gift for someone.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
that seems to be like the thing is,
Got cancer.
Yeah. And one person that I knew that was selling on Etsy did, in fact, get cancer and die. But
Yeah, Kelly.
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
at the time, she was like, I'm not taking any more orders.
Yeah.
And she shut the shop down and went on vacation. And now the shop
Mhm.
is back up and running with her designs and her family running it. But
Right.
they're putting a bunch of money, I think, towards cancer research and stuff too.
Mhm. Yeah, they are.
So yeah, so this guy, it's like, oh, all of a sudden, and literally, like, I started going back, and I did a Google search for him, and he popped up under 3 or 4 different names throughout Google, on YouTube, throughout the years, and he'd apparently had been dying of cancer for like 10 years
It's like that one person that we know that conveniently got cancer
and then got cured.
and
You
then
know,
got cured
with,
twice.
yeah, wasn't it with essential oils?
Kale up her ass. Snorting turmeric.
I'm so
Um,
petty.
you are.
I am.
It's great.
I can't help it. That
But I
just
mean, I say stuff like that, but then like people order from me and I'm like, oh, that's great. Here, have all this stuff that I made for free.
yeah.
I'm terrible.
I
I
I
just want
can't.
people to be happy. Like, I don't, it's nice. I have the business. I want people to buy stuff, but I want them to buy it because it's cool and I think it's going to make them happy and I want people to be happy. Like,
Exactly. It's like I'm not
uh,
selling it to, and I know that there's people on Etsy actually selling it to make a living, which I'm like, okay, so
I mean,
I'm
that'd be
cognizant of
nice.
that.
Yeah.
I'm totally cognizant of that, and I feel bad sometimes when I'm like, okay, I bought this for this. I can easily just, and with some of my jewelry, that was the weirdest part. Was I had somebody message me and tell me it was too cheap, that they didn't think it was quality because it was cheap. And I'm like, well, and it was an Elgin pocket watch. It was
Hmm.
pieces of an Elgin pocket watch, which they're not cheap, and I just happened to get a lot on eBay.
Right.
So I was like, cool. And so I passed the savings on. I'm like, here, I made this really cool necklace, and it's filled with Elgin pocket watch parts. It's beautiful. Some of the parts still move. And I just like took it all apart and put it all back together into a necklace.
Right.
And this person was just like, yeah, I don't think it's worth it for $30. And I'm like, okay, how about 100?
Yeah. Right.
And once I raised my prices, people started buying it. And I'm like,
I have a friend
really?
that does that, a mutual friend of ours, that I'll give him a price and he'll be like, oh, yeah, that's not enough. I'm going to give you this much. Frustrates me to no end.
For the record, that friend never does that with me.
Yeah, but you probably don't say, okay, well, I'll give it to you at cost.
I I don't know. I mean, I think he's read all my books. And he crochets, so it's not like I need
Yeah.
help knitting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
True.
otherwise I'd just be like, yeah, price of the yarn. That's like
Yeah.
I had a friend who was like, yeah, just pay me the price of the yarn.
I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know either.
I wanted to pay you more.
Send me some rocks
You would have.
then.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not like there's a box in my kitchen with your name on it. Merry Christmas, by the way.
I'm hoping that I can get all of your knits done by time to get it to you for Christmas, because I don't
Send
know
it
if
for
I
my
can,
birthday.
yeah, I don't, it'll be for your birthday definitely, because I got
I mean,
inundated this year with orders, with commissions, which was insane. I was like, oh my god, I've never gotten this many commissions to do.
yeah, I mean, do that first. Mine don't.
Well, I definitely
You
want to get your shawl to you by Christmas. I'm hoping.
I mean, it'd be cool if I could wear it while it's cold, but
Yeah, yeah,
the hand
that's the
warmers,
idea. The
I'll wear
hand
the
warmers
hand
are
warmers.
universal.
Yeah, I'll wear those anytime anyway, because my fingers are always cold. So
Yeah, and like that just all of a sudden it's like I did the pop-up market, and all of a sudden everybody's like,
mhm.
do you do commissions? I'm like, I do.
Well, honey, you're unbelievably talented. You make beautiful stuff. Like, I
These
don't understand why that's a surprise to you. If people see it, they're gonna want it.
guess I just, yeah, I don't know. I guess we fall into that rut of, oh, I'm just not good enough. And it's like, no matter how many accolades and, recommendations and stuff like that comes down the pike, it's like, yeah, I'm never going to be
You
good.
mean like how I always ask, are you only saying that because you love me?
Yes. And yes.
So, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. You're only saying that because you love me and you have to. Like, meh. I just do it because it makes me happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
yesterday, oh my gosh, I'm working on this painting, right? And it's a crow skull sitting looking over the ocean and a sunrise with the cliff, right? And it's going to have like flowers growing up out of it. It's going to be really cool. I worked on the sky alone and the water of that yesterday for 14 hours,
yeah, sounds
probably.
about right.
And didn't realize it until it was like 8 p.m. and I was starving.
I've had many a weekend like that.
Yeah. I was like,
Like, oh, I
whoa.
should go to the bathroom. I have to go.
Yeah. Well, luckily for me, I don't do that because the dogs remind me when they have to go. So I am like hydrating and things like that because I get myself a glass of water or a cup of coffee or whatever when the dogs need to go out. But otherwise,
Yeah, Hubs used to leave food outside the art room and knock on the door and walk away like a jail cell.
yeah, I have
Slide it
someone
under
like,
the door.
yeah, I get, did you eat today? I think so.
Come eat. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did because I see an empty bowl in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget to eat all the time. Oh,
What?
the thing that I am working on is I think it's going to be a new book.
Really? Oh, wow.
So I'm kind of digging this notebook. I
I
don't
got,
like that it's got lined pages, but I like it's a pleather. It's
mm-hmm,
that polyurethane leather,
mm-hmm,
and it still smells weird, but I don't like the lined pages, but it's kind of like a Moleskine, like a flexible
mm-hmm.
Moleskine that I like. And it's got this cute little
Yeah, I like
thing
that.
going
Yeah,
on.
I got
I
new
colored
notebooks.
them in.
I got new notebooks and I'm very excited about them. Yeah, so I get it. I
Yeah,
like notebooks too.
I I adore my notebooks. I have a collection of them. My husband is always like, "Are you getting another blank journal?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why don't you work on the ones that you've got?" I'm like, "Because the book that I'm about to write is in this one, not those ones."
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, "Are you going to tell Michelangelo not to get another slab of marble to make David?" David's in that marble, not that marble.
Exactly. I'm so glad you understand that.
Totally get it. And I have boxes of empty journals that are waiting for the books to be written in them.
The art isn't on that canvas yet.
Exactly.
My brain hasn't birthed it yet.
Well, or the
That's why
canvas
I need
told me
52 canvases sitting in a stack. Because
exactly. For me,
yeah.
it's the book that tells me that's going to be written. So it's like, I see a
Mm-hmm.
journal and I'm like, "Ooh, that's a really cool journal. It's kind of inspiring. I don't know what I'm going to write yet." And then
Mm-hmm.
eventually, like in the middle of the night, all of a sudden I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, "That journal, it's
I had
talking to me."
I I had an idea like that yesterday while I was painting the one thing. I was like, "Ooh, I need to paint this other thing." And I had to,
It's
it's a
like,
mess. Yeah, calm down.
yeah.
Take it down about 10 notches.
I have I've got my actual Moleskine
Mm-hmm.
that has seen better days. It's almost done. I am about to finish it. So I'll show you.
Wait, is that the one you bought at Grand Central?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Anyway,
I have this much left before it's done.
ooh.
I do have another one waiting
Mm-hmm.
in the wings right here. This might be the one that I got at Grand Central. Is it the floppy one?
I'll know it when I see it.
Kind of floppy one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This one's got a softer cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like there. Whereas that one's a hardcover. I do like the
Yeah.
hardcovers better, but yeah, this one.
It is that one because you were all excited to put that sticker on it. I remember.
My morning brew sticker. I was so excited to get these stickers. Oh my god, like seriously, anybody wants to market to me, send me stickers.
Yeah, same.
I am all about stickers. Ridiculously about. I have an entire window seat filing cabinet thing right under my desk that is covered in stickers right now.
I literally bought more of these just so that I could put my stickers on them.
We're ridiculous.
We are. Grown-ass women.
Stickers. I have a sticker from Think Geek that is a monkey. It's a monkey head. And at the one birthday party we went to back in, oh god, it was like last year, I think. They had mustaches, like the Mario mustaches. And so I got a Mario mustache and I stuck it on the monkey, and now it's actually got like fake fur on the mustache. So I'm just here petting the monkey's mustache. My desk is covered in stickers too. So no regrets.
No.
I was that kid who had like a notebook full of stickers when I was a kid. Scratch and sniffed. Those are my prized possessions.
Yeah. The popcorn ones were the best.
Oh, popcorn. And the pizza. Pizza was good.
Banana.
The banana was good. Oh man, what was another one I liked? Grape.
Yeah. I liked the watermelon ones.
Oh, that was a good one too. Oh man. I had a favorite and I can't think of what it was now. Crap, I don't even know if I have that notebook anymore.
Popcorn was my favorite.
The popcorn was fantastic. That was I actually have a perfume that smells like that sticker.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. It's hot buttered oatmeal, but it smells like the popcorn sticker. And I'm like, these are the things that amuse us. That got away from us.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. So I'm wrapped up in my pashmina and sitting with a heating pad on me because it's cold again.
I have a very, very, very fuzzy blanket.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a story about a blanket.
Like I skinned a Cookie Monster.
It does look like you skinned a Cookie Monster. I have a faux fur one that looks like I skinned.
This is faux fur.
Yeah, it's like it looks like fur, like off an animal.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like I skinned a buffalo or something, or like a woolly mammoth. But I have a story about a blanket that's hysterical. Well, kind of hysterical, kind of annoying, kind of hysterical. So I have a Pullman reproduction blanket from Victorian Trading Company. And it's an all wool blanket, and it's wonderfully warm, and it's fantastic. And it looks just like the old Pullman car blankets because Victorian Trading Company. And like, one day it's getting kind of chilly, and I'm like, man, it'd be really nice to just like use that Pullman blanket because it's not heavy, but it's not light, and it's perfect, for like in between weather. And it's gone from where it usually is, and I'm like, where did the Pullman blanket go? So I asked my husband, I'm like, hey, where's the Pullman blanket? He's like, the what? I'm like, the Pullman blanket. He goes, I don't know. He goes, where'd you have it? And I was like, on the window seat in the bedroom, and now it's gone. And he's like, I don't know where it is. I'm like, well, I didn't move it. Pretty sure our kid didn't move it. Where is it? And he's like, I don't know. I haven't seen it. He's like, what's it look like? I'm like, it literally has big giant words on it that say Pullman. And it's a beige and brown blanket. It says Pullman in 1920s letters. And he's like, nope, haven't seen it. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm like, it must be up in the attic somewhere. You know, he went on a cleaning spree or something. And as he does, if it does not bring him joy, clearly it's not bringing anybody else joy either. So it goes up in the attic. I go up in the attic yesterday while I'm on the phone with my dad. Can't find it anywhere. I'm like, and my dad's like, now you have to think to yourself, if you were Ty, and I was like, do you know how many times a day I do that, Dad? I was like, if I was my husband, where would I hide this from me?
Yeah.
So I am literally hunting all over the house. I opened up every single closet, could not find this stupid blanket. I open up my husband's closet, and there it is, laying on top of a stack of all my other blankets, like he had hoarded them away like a squirrel. Telling me he doesn't know where any of my blankets went. And the string of expletives that I said while on the phone with my father, I am not proud of.
Oh my goodness.
And my dad is just sitting on the other end of the phone laughing. He's like, so where were they? I'm like, in his closet, squirreled away on the floor. I was like, literally every single time he opened his closet, he had to look down and see Pullman.
Oh, that's funny.
So I got the blanket out, and I didn't say anything about it. I got the blanket out. I went downstairs, and I was sitting on the couch last night, and my son and I were eating peanut butter filled pretzels, as one does on the couch in the living room,
Yeah.
making a mess. And we're sitting there, and I've got the blanket out, and I've got it on us, and I've got it spread out, so you can't miss Pullman across the entire blanket. And he didn't say a word. And I was like, you know, it's hard to do a victory lap if you're not acknowledging my victory.
So who really wins?
He wins this round. But I have my Pullman blanket back, so I kind of won too.
Well, and now you know where all the other blankets are too.
Seriously, he's got like a pile of them in there. I'm like, for the guy who doesn't use blankets usually at all, like, and this was the funniest part. So I came downstairs yesterday morning, and when I woke up, it was freezing. It was cold, and I was under the comforter and under my fake fur throw blanket too, and had my fuzzy pajamas on, and I was cold, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna have to get up and go to the bathroom at some point. And finally I managed to like get out of bed, go to the bathroom, and get dressed super quick. I think I did it in like 5 seconds. And I come downstairs, and there's just like all these electric heaters around my husband, who's laying on the couch under a fleece throw, and I'm upstairs freezing my butt off because he's got the heat off. And I'm like, I'm looking
You
around.
put one heater in your room?
Huh?
You couldn't put one heater in there for you?
Or, come upstairs and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I got the heat off. Here's an extra blanket. Here's your Pullman blanket that you've been looking for that I hid in. So I'm just like, I come walking downstairs, and there was like there's 3 space heaters down here. 2 of which were plugged in and aimed at him. And he's under that damn blanket.
I have no comment.
So I come downstairs and I'm like, burr. So I go climbing into the hall closet downstairs and I get out like all of my knitting, all of the stuff that I've knit, all the stuff that friends have knit for me. And I am literally just like hat, gloves, scarves, shawls, blankets, everything. And the Pullman blanket. And no, I didn't come down with the Pullman blanket because I hadn't found it yet. But I come downstairs and find him, basking in the electric glow of 1,000 heaters while I'm upstairs freezing my ass off. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Nice.
Just like, I can't even right now. So I go and I go to make coffee, and it took like 5 minutes for the kettle to boil, like just regular room temperature water. It was like cold. Even just taking a sip like out of my cup that had been sitting on the nightstand, it was like I had it in the fridge. I was just like, it is cold in here. I'm sitting there going, like seeing if I can see my breath.
Oh my goodness.
It was bad. But yeah, so he taped up the heat pipe. So it's not leaking as bad, and he's got the bucket under it, and we expect the heating guys to either be here later today or tomorrow.
That's good.
Yeah. But I was like, it's like, how hot is the water coming down through the return pipe? And he's like, I don't know, it's hot, it's coming out of the radiators. I was like, yeah, I guess. I was like, okay, gaff tape may not be what we want. I was like, but gaff tape would have worked. And then I was talking to my dad.
Gaff tape always works.
Yeah, and my dad's like, oh no, it's not that hot coming back through. So I'm like, gaff tape. But it turns out because I asked Ty, I was like, do we have like duct tape or something that we could use, like some sort of, insulated tape? And he was like, oh, we've got pipe tape. I was like, well, that could work. So he wrapped it in the pipe tape, and
shocking.
Yeah. And then he the greatest part was when he came and told me that he was going to keep the thermostat on hold at like 68 degrees, like throughout the day and throughout the night. And I was like, uh-huh. And he goes, so the pressure doesn't build up when it has to go from like 64 to 68 in the morning. I'm like, so what you're saying is you're going to make it like a normal heating system. And he's like, yeah,
grown folks' houses.
Most houses filled with human beings enjoy a constant temperature rather than polar extremes.
Got one that likes to turn the heat down at night too. I live with one of those.
Yeah, it's
not Simon. Bill likes to do that, and I'm like,
yeah, it's like cold at night.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, like the brickwork is cooling off, and it's
the reasoning being that nobody's up moving around, so it doesn't need to be that warm.
That's the exact logic that my husband uses.
It must be a guy thing of that age.
He senses that I touch the thermostat.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it's like, and I'm like, yes, I touched thermostat, and I made it 70. If that pipe wasn't broken, I'd do it again. No regrets. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then he always complains because my son also likes to be warm and thawed out, and so he comes home and immediately like curls up under that blanket. He's like, it's so cold, and then he's got like all of his stuffed animals around him and all of his pillows around him. My husband comes walking and he's like, why do you need all that stuff? I'm like, because it's cold. I was like, he's building a stuffed animal igloo. It's made of stuffed animals and pillows.
And on that note,
yeah, I think we've exhausted this train of thought.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time when
yes.
we let you know. Did we freeze? Didn't we freeze? In the meantime, I'm gonna think of thoughts like The Shining and how the boiler burst.
All work and no play makes Susie a dull
Something,
girl.
something. All work and no play makes Susie something, something. It's like the mix of The Shining and The Shinning from
Yeah.
The Simpsons. But yeah, as soon as we bought a house with a boiler in it, and I saw the switch for the old fuel oil furnace, all I could think of was The Shining. And I was like, this place is going sky high, and we're gonna get lost and frozen in a maze. How this is working. So yeah, maybe I'll be here next week. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
You'll find out then.
Tune in next week. Same goth time, same goth channel.
Bye.